Welcome back to Slowflake's Pokemon Let's Plays, waifu free since 2008! So now, we're at the Striaton Pokemon Center, and we're about to head back into the Dream Yard. Now, I am going to need Timber, since it's got Strength, there's going to be a Strength boulder to move, and so, I decided to get rid of Yanshao because there are a lot of Psychic types where we're going, and Wildlands are not. Sending Yanshao in there is a bad life choice. Now, before we move on, I want to teach Hone Claws to Tyranitar instead of Brick Break. It's going to come in rather handy if I decide that I need to spam Stone Edge for some reason. So, now that that is done and my Tyranitar's final moveset is finally complete, we can move on to the Dream Yard. Now, when we went there before, there was a traffic cone blocking our way forward. However, now that we've beaten the main game, it's now gone, and there's an item right there. Wow! I even lucked out and figured out the exact spot instantly. So, now we can move on into the basement where there are a lot of trainers that will use, as I said before, nothing there, Psychic-type Pokemon. So while I beat those trainers up, how about I finally get to what people have been talking about non-stop for the past week or so, Sylveon! So, indeed, there is going to be a new evolution, as Junichi Masuda hinted to in a tweet in early January, which made us think that it would be revealed in January. Especially considering that the Unova League finale would take place around that time. And unfortunately, we didn't get anything. So, talk about failing to strike the iron while it's hot. So, instead, we get something in February. Not complaining, though. Some news is better than no news at all, even though I still think the EV line is the most overrated thing ever. Well, maybe next to Charizard, but anyway, I guess I should mention that Tyranitar is, of course, going to be very good here. I checked, there are no threats of a random Fail Blast to ruin my day, so I can pretty much safely get Tyranitar a few free levels here, considering the going won't be as easy in other places, so better enjoy it while it lasts. So, they did not, however, reveal Sylveon's typing. Now the consensus is crystallizing around two types, mostly. Normal and flying. Now I can see why people would think that it could be either one of those. I mean, it has the typical color of a normal type, for example, stuff like Clefairy, Skitty, Chansey, and oh great, this is a fun little gimmick in the Dream Yard, and by fun, I mean absolutely aggravating. Instead of challenging you, when a trainer sees you, they're simply going to make a U-turn and run for it! Who's ever heard of that? Whatever happened to It's a Rule? Whenever you lock eyes with a trainer, you gotta battle. Well, fuck that in the Dream Yard. But the other type that's also very likely is flying. I don't know, I guess it sort of has that flying allure to it with the scarves and maybe, but how is it gonna fly? With the bows or something? I don't know. But I think probably the best, I wouldn't say proof, but the best hint that it would be flying, if it does turn out to be flying, is in the name, Sylveon. It contains the word Sylph, which refers to learn fucking nurse before you fight those things. What, do you want to get butt raped by 3 fairies? I don't know how that would work, but it could happen. No, but all kidding aside, the Sylph are air elemental spirits, which would suggest a flying type. Of course, it all depends on how precise the translation staff decided that they want to be, but it would still feel weird to have a Pokemon named after air elemental spirits that is not flying, but nonetheless, it looks like it could be normal too, so of course these are the big two types that are being theorized, maybe even both. Maybe it could be normal flying if they don't want to go the mono flying route. Which wouldn't surprise me. They seem to hate the notion of a mono-flying Pokemon, considering that we only got one thus far. But the wording on the official Pokemon site, there's not much room for argument. It's going to be a mono-type that is going to be different from the ones that we have seen thus far. So, of course, that narrows it down to the 10 types that haven't been explored yet. Now, the main problem about, how it could be normal or flying isn't the moves that it uses in the trailer. It honestly, there's one move in particular that could be, honestly, just about anything. It sort of looks fire, but not really. And it's not like something like a flamethrower or fire blast either. It's very hard to figure out what these moves are. Clearly it's using Swift and Trump Card, which Eevee already learns. Sort of makes sense that they would show us moves that Eevee already learns, so as to not spoil the surprise of the type, unless of course it turns out to be normal, at which point, well, it's using normal type moves, but it's still using moves that we know it will have, simply based off the fact that Eevee knows them. But I guess the point is, these moves, especially the one that kind of looks like fire, could be just about anything. So, yeah. Either way, the consensus is that it's going to be either normal or flying, with fighting and dragon being rather popular outside picks, if only because, dragon is the last traditionally special type that hasn't had an evolution yet, even though, they did away with the physical special split, and for all we know, this is slightly disturbing, because if you can make a dream come true, it's the same as having dream mist. So guys, remember, whenever you make your dreams come true, you get high! But yeah, as I was about to say, for all we know, Leafeon and Glaceon could have been designed before they decided to implement the physical special split, then decided to give us these two anyway. So it's really not much of an argument, depending on how the development of Diamond and Pearl went. So yeah, very, very difficult to decide either way. So I guess we're just going to have to accept that we're not going to know Sylveon's type in the next month, but still, it's very interesting to figure out what's in the name, because, the word Sylph appears in the English name, and you can also find the word nymph in the Japanese and French names. So it's clearly meant to be a fairy of some kind, and fairy-based Pokemon, I would say, especially since there's a fairy egg group, they have a tendency to be normal type, so it wouldn't surprise me either, though it would feel wrong, as I said before, to have a Pokemon named after Sylph that is not flying type. But oh well, we're gonna get what we're gonna get, and we gotta accept it. But something else that I found rather interesting about the Sylveon announcement is that, notwithstanding the fact that Korokoro was leaked a few days early, this was an international announcement. So, okay. Did not remember a Starmie would be here, but okay, I guess I'm just gonna withdraw it. Send out Lilligant before I send my Tyranitar into a watery grave, sorry. Because even though it's got that special defense boosted by the Sandstorm, I wouldn't... Rapid Spin, huh? Does it not have a water move of some kind? Why Rapid Spin? And it's using it again! So... What's that thing's moveset anyway? Has it got like Rapid Spin, Psychic, which wouldn't do a damn thing on Tyranitar, and then two non-offensive moves? I have absolutely no idea, and what Buffett? Well, that is the cue for Tyranitar to come back. Now, I know perfectly well what's going to happen. I'm gonna use Crunch, it's not gonna KO, it's gonna counter, and it's gonna kill me! So, I'm going to use Hone Claws, not once, but twice, to make sure that this thing dies. without bringing me down with it, rather. God damn it. Can't speak today. Can't speak ever, in fact. Seems like, just the fact that English is my second language, gives me quite a few problems in terms of my enunciation whenever I try to do one of these LP videos. So, what Buffett goes down? Maybe those hone claws were completely unnecessary. Maybe only one of them was. I will never know, and I am not interested in knowing either. Now, what this guy is saying is that, okay, we got an awakening in there, but, yeah, what he's saying, and, whoa, there's something else up there? Yeah, another awakening. Figures that there would be a lot of awakenings in the dream yard of all places. But yeah, as this guy just said, on Fridays, there's going to be a Musharna here in the basement of the dream yard that is going to have its dream world ability of telepathy. In fact, because of that Musharna's presence here, in the Black and White 1 era, this was one of only 2 Generation 5 Pokemon that had access to its Dream World ability. The other being Darmanitans, which I believe I already explained. There are Zen mode Darmanitans in the Desert Resort that we can awaken. Well, this is something that we're going to need to re-explore at some point, I guess, but not now. Anyway, I gotta remember to come back here on a Friday just to show you the Musharna that appears here, even though it's the same as the Lapras from Gold, Silver, Crystal. It's the same as the Drifloon from Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I'm just gonna show it to you nonetheless, just to show you that, yeah, it's there. But anyway, I was talking about the international nature of the Sylveon announcement, and to be honest, I was a bit surprised by that, considering that, well, the game's announcement and the game's release are both going to be worldwide, simultaneously. So, the fact that they're going... well, it is just one Pokemon, so maybe I may be completely wrong on that, but... it seems that so far they really intend on making these official announcements worldwide, even for something as minor as one Pokemon. Of course, there are going to be some Pokemon that are going to appear from various sources that are not really official, and that is some great research. The Dream World, great, and the Dream World should never be used in the same sentence, unless there's a not somewhere in there. But yeah, I remember that the first time we saw Pokemon like Gigalith and Excadrill, I think, it wasn't from any official publication, it was just... I don't really remember the context in which these two and some others were first seen, but it was not an official reveal, so barring anything like that, I am thinking that anything that's revealed through an official channel, such as Korokoro, will be revealed worldwide simultaneously, is what I'm trying to get at. So, well, maybe it's not gonna hold, maybe they just did it so far because, well, it's the starters and the Uber mascots, and just one Pokemon so far. Maybe that pattern will be broken later on, maybe as soon as next month, I don't know. But so far, I'm pleased to see that we don't have to dig too much into Japanese magazines in order to find any sort of info that we're not going to find out about for several months, officially at least, because of course we can always just find out by reading the Japanese stuff, and I guess that's what they realized, that, you know, there's no surprise anymore since the Japanese are so far ahead, and with the internet now, the way it works, well, I guess they figured it out, finally. No! Talk to me! Talk to me! Talk to me! No, come on! Just want to talk to you! Jesus! Talk about it! Okay, thank you. I was about to say, talk about an antisocial bitch. I mean, sure, I'm not the most social person ever, but still. Anyway, next time we're gonna wrap up the Dream Yard and capture yet another Plasma Sage.